Brittany again, and I'm here to show you my updated Hoya collection. This first plant is the Hoya Australis Lisa. This one I had previously purchased. However, I tried to propagate it and ended up killing the whole plant. This plant is much fuller than the last one that I had. However, after it came in the mail, well, after I received it in the mail, the plant went into some extreme shock and died back quite a bit. So I'll show you the picture of this plant when it first arrived. I'm sure it'll grow back over time, but now I'm just giving it small amounts of water, and I keep it on my heating mat, and that seems to be calming it and keeping this plant doing well. This is my Hoya Pubicalyx. This plant is really easy. I've overwintered it on a shelf in my home, and as you can see, it's growing still. I actually haven't been giving it much light at all. It gets bright indirect light, but it's still grown quite a bit. This is a very easy plant, and it's actually a very attractive one, and I don't know, it's one of my favorites. There's nothing to complain about, basically. This is the Hoya Bella. I'm not sure if I've hauled it previously, but anyway, this is where it's at now. I've only had it for a couple of months, but already this plant has grown quite a bit. And if you notice here, I have a small break where there's a new stem coming here. And it's just a really easy plant. These leaves are kind of thick, really soft, and I just really enjoy the foliage from this. So I'm excited to see what happens when it actually blooms. This is my Hoya Crimson Princess. This is not the same plant that I showed you during my last collection video. Unfortunately, that plant had mealybugs, and although I kept cleaning it and treating it with neem oil, I was not able to kill all of the mealybug. I just kept coming back, checking it, and it was still there. So anyway, because I have a lot of plants, I just couldn't take the chance that that would infect any of my other plants, and so I threw it away. And this one I found for a really good price on Etsy, and it's doing well here. And let me move this. And it has one or two leaves that are pretty large, like this one here. This is my new Hoya Obovata. The one that I had last year, actually, after I did one of my videos on a yellowing Hoya, and I showed you guys footage of my old Hoya Obovata, which was really full. I accidentally overwatered that, as well as my Hoya Kerrii, and didn't have a good turnout. So I ended up losing all of my Hoya Obovata. This new one is really special to me because my sister bought it for me to cheer me up, and so that was really nice. There's few plants that I've been gifted, so this is a really special one. I know I'll take good care of it, and hopefully one day I'll be able to propagate it and give her some of this too. This is my small Hoya Crimson Queen. He was very thirsty, so I just gave him a drink. But this is also a very easy plant, and this one I picked up at Home Depot in really good condition. And I may have mentioned it in another video. If not, this is it. And this is the larger mother plant, my largest Crimson Queen. This plant is also really easy to take care of, and it produces some completely white leaves, which are just so cute. Even though they do shrivel up and die, they're still cute. This is my Hoya Carnosa Compacta, or my Hoya Hindu rope. This was the first type of Hoya that I ever bought, and I had quite a history with it, but basically this one has been through a lot, as you can tell, and I ended up purchasing I think it was 1 or 2 long cuttings, and anyway, one of them is planted in the soil. During the spring I'm going to cut it back, and then I'm going to plant it in this other spot here. It was thirsty, so I just gave it a drink a few minutes ago, but other than that, it's been doing fine over the winter. This is a Hoya Chelsea. I really like this plant, but it can be a little bit tricky. So actually I propagated it, and also it died back a bit, and I recently did an unboxing of some cuttings of this plant, so I'll leave that video link here because I just wanted to make it a more full pot. I do have another piece of this propagating in water, and also this spring I will be cutting this and propagating some of it, just because it's just really one kind of long vine and the other one's quite short, so I'd like to go ahead and just try to get it filled out. All that remains of my Hoya Kerrii. Actually took quite a few cuttings and gifted them out before I accidentally overwatered this plant, and I'm happy about that, but I am left with just this one stem, and I just gave her a drink a few minutes ago. She was clearly thirsty, but I still think this is just a really cute plant. I love heart-shaped leaves, and she's the foremost of the heart-shaped in my collection. So yeah, not only have this 2.5 inch pot left, but I'm happy that I have something left. Basically, I didn't have to start over from Carnosa. This is pretty much your foremost basic type of Hoya ever. But this is a really easy plant. A lot of times I forget to water it. I'm actually embarrassed to say how often I forget to water it, and once I do give it a good drink, it just pops right back up, and it's really pretty. It's a fast grower, and it has grown quite a bit, even with no fertilizer and not a lot of sun. So I'm definitely looking forward to putting this back outside and seeing what type of gains I can get this year. This is my pot of Hoya Curtisii, and some people have said in videos that this plant is a problem for them. It's difficult to take care of, or they don't really like it, but I've kind of felt like this was one of the easier, simple, basic types of plants. I think that starting this plant from 1 or 2 strands is the best way to go. It's allowed me to kind of understand exactly how it looks when it's thirsty, and also I appreciate it more. Like, I think if it was just a big, huge, full pot, it would be difficult to try to water it and everything. So I'm really glad that this one is the size that it is, and it's a really cool member of my collection. This is a type of what they called anyway. a collector's Hoya. It's I purchased this one on Etsy, and it said it was Hoya Chang Island. I'll look it up again and try to come up with a better name for it, but basically I really like this one because these leaves are pretty big and they do have this speckling all over them, and I think it's a really pretty plant. I did try to shine the leaves. I was not really able to, but regardless, it's still a very pretty plant. I haven't had to water it much at all, and I kind of just waited until I saw more wrinkles in it that were really pronounced, because these leaves are so big and pretty thick. I know that it won't take a lot of water, and it's just been hanging out, I guess, since I received it. It does have a third point of growth, but it hasn't done anything yet. So it's still in my special pot that I got from a really good plant friend, and I'm just enjoying it. And this one, I know that, I think the name changed or something, but this is a Hoya Bilobata, or a DS70. And this one is growing really well. It's really easy to take care of. I'm sorry, I keep saying really. This plant is easy to take care of, and it has soft, furry leaves. They do feel a little bit thicker when it's just gotten watered. I can tell that it might be thirsty right now just because the leaves feel very thin. But it's an easy plant to grow. And I also have a piece in water that I'm propagating. And I love the way that it trails. I think as it gets larger, it will just be a very beautiful plant. More. Okay, this is my Hoya Penny Street. I know you guys saw this the last time that I did my Hoya collection video. I had just gotten this. Not that much has changed. I do have a new leaf. The one leaf that was completely black shriveled up and fell off. So now I have 5 leaves, and I'm sure it was just overly exposed to sun to give it that black color. But I'm not trying to torture this plant for pictures. It's just a very easy, simple plant. The leaves are pretty big, but they do wrinkle a bit, and that's when I go ahead and give it a drink, and I haven't had any issues with it. It's also called MB1405B as its other scientific name, just in case you're wondering. And last but not least, this is my new Hoya Macrophylla Variagata. I did have a small version of this plant. I tried to propagate it. I ended up killing it. It was only one stem, and I really do enjoy it. I think it's a very beautiful plant, so I went back and purchased a large one. Unfortunately, when I received it in the mail, the seller just kind of put it in a box and shipped it with very little cushion or anything. So this plant had just a ton of these pieces of the stem just going crazy, growing everywhere, and most of them were cracked. So I did have to go through this one quite a bit to cut off the pieces, like as you can see here. And after I was finally able to cut off those pieces, that was basically all the damage that it had. This plant is not difficult to take care of. I do give it a good amount of light, and I haven't repotted it or anything. I'm going to try to wait until the springtime or the summer and see if it needs to be repotted, but it's just a really lovely plant, and the leaves are beautiful. And this is my last Hoya. So I'm hoping that you guys can leave me some comments. Let me know if you have any of the less common types of Hoya that I have. If you see something that I'm doing wrong, just let me know. I really appreciated all of the tips and suggestions that I received last time, because I was told that the majority of my plants were over potted, and I immediately went back and I went back and fixed it. And so, I really appreciated those tips, and thank you for watching. Anyway, hopefully I'll have some more one day and to add to my collection, and I'm hoping that I can learn a much safer way to propagate, because I do feel that quite a few of my Hoyas died basically from failed propagation attempts. And I was using the bagging method, just in case you're curious what I was doing. Alright guys, well, thanks for checking in. See you later. Bye.